used to get together and drink coffee and hear about some of the cool things being built here in Tampa Bay. We do appreciate the fine folks at Calla Coffee for providing this nectar to us. When you are not here for the other 6 days of the week, I highly encourage you to patronize them. They have delicious products in 6 locations. Today is going to be a little bit truncated. Unfortunately, an issue came up and our second presenter was unable to make it this morning, but we do have one excellent presenter with some cool stuff. I'm sure most of you have taken a look and seen some of his products up here before. We're also going to, after our first presenter, give you guys the opportunity. Our friends from USF St. Pete, Lex and Brian, would like to do interviews with some of you guys, just to talk about what you get out of coming to 1 Million Cups and some thoughts about that. So after the presentations this morning, if you're interested in doing that, please see them there at the back. Wave your hands, gents and ladies. Absolutely. I would like to thank all of my co-organizers. I don't actually do any work here. They do all the work. They are Murray and Downs, Chris. What's your name back there? What's your face? Danielle. And JJ. My name is Sean Kennedy. We also have Carly here, who is responsible for the beautiful emails you see every week. If you are not seeing those beautiful emails every week, you can sign in on the sign-in sheet there. We promise we will not bother you too much. 2 emails a week, one to tell you who's coming, one to tell you who presented, what you can do for them, and a little bit about the events in our community. Without further ado, I will kick it over to our presenter. I will get everything up on the board and good one.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Brandon Thomas. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Gurus. We design and distribute a natural rubber sandal that's based on an ancient Indian design. So about 4 years ago, I was in India and I saw this wooden sandal. It dates back thousands of years. People like Gandhi used to wear it, but it's not the most functional. I'll pass this around so you can see. So we wanted to redesign it because we thought it was cool. My family, my business partner's family, are from South India, and they're actually historically in the rubber farming business. So our rubber actually comes from family farm. It's a natural rubber that we source from trees, kind of like the tap of maple syrup tree, that gets hand rolled into sheets and sent to our manufacturer. And what we end up with is our first product, the Guru sandal. It's based on the India design, but it also has an adjustable strap to hold it to your feet. And what's great about our sandal, unlike flip-flops, is you don't have to scrunch your toes. So once you put it on, it stays on. Because it's natural rubber, it'll mold to your feet over time. And it's also eco-friendly. For every pair we sell, we plant a tree, and each pair comes with one of these jute carry bags, and they retail for $30. We launched on Kickstarter about 1.5 years ago to pay for our startup costs. We sold about 500 pairs in 30 days, and we got great reviews. We had some press from Tampa Bay Times, Bay News 9, but also About.com and Footwear News, which got us into a lot of retail stores. We have growing distribution. You can find us in the Tampa Bay area at the Tampa Airport Ranjan Surf Shop, and we're in a handful of smaller shops and salons and spas in the Clearwater and Largo area. We sell on our website, alagurus.com, and on Amazon.com. The coupon code's up here if you guys want to try them out. We are also distributed in Australia, and we're talking to distributors in Canada, Chile, Mexico, and Japan. Just to give you an idea, we'll be in about 60 stores at the end of this month. At this point last year, we were only in 5 retail stores. Wow. About 60 to 70% of our stores are pre-ordered, and we do display programs as well. So this is a huge market opportunity. A lot of people compare us to Tom's, which is great because that's over $1 billion company. But we looked at smaller companies like Bucket, Feet, and Feel Goods, who in a period of 3 to 4 years have created multi-million-dollar businesses. We're in this to create kind of the first lifestyle Indian brand. And as we look beyond where we think about the surf industry and the yoga industry. So what we want to do is get to scale in footwear. We have our sandal, but we're thinking about flip-flops and other footwear products like an espadrille. And you guys are the first to hear about our yoga mat. It's a sustainable cork and rubber yoga mat. We've kind of been yoga community because of the design of our sandal. If you've done hot yoga, you're probably familiar that when you sweat, you slip. You have to put a towel on your mat. What's great about our mat is if you dump a bucket of water on this and it's wet, you can still practice yoga on this. So we're going to be launching this hopefully on Kickstarter on April 22nd, which is Earth Day. So the top is a natural sustainable cork, and the bottom is a natural rubber similar to our sandals. But we've had some of our yoga ambassadors testing them, and they think it's pretty amazing. So this is me right here and my business partner Joe. What's crazy is that both of our families are from the same small town in South India and literally live across the street from us, and we didn't know that until we started working on Gurus probably 2 or 3 years after we met. So I grew up in the Tampa Bay area, went to Palm Harbor University High, went to college at UNC Chapel Hill, and then I went to New York to work in investment banking. Then I worked in venture capital for a few years. My business partner Joe, similar background, he grew up in Pittsburgh, and he's up at UPenn Wharton School. We have some retail advisors as well, because this is our first retail product. We didn't really know what we were doing. Susan Stackhouse, some of you might know her. She runs Seller Partners that run surf shops at airports throughout the U.S. Sanjay Srinivasan, he does sunglasses. Jeff Hollander, he started Seventh Generation, which is a big organic cleaning product company, and he runs Sustain Condoms, which is a natural rubber condom company. And Sarah Kaus at Swell Bottle, she does a steel water bottle, which you guys have probably seen at Cooper's Hawk and some Starbucks locations. So right now we're going to play, I flew through all that so I could show you kind of a minute video to see our symbols in action. So we're going to play that real quick. This was filmed at St. Leo University, and all the people in here are St. Leo students.
Seconds of starting that video that you did absolutely everything right. It's a lifestyle, it's not a shoe. And it's very impressive to see how you guys did that, because you're talking to the audience through the environment in which people are living. You're not spending all your time talking about all the details of the shoe. And I think that was really impressive. Very cool.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
How much does your hot yoga mat sell for? Can I take that one with?
We only have 6 prototypes, and they're kind of spread out with our ambassadors. We're thinking between $80 to $100. There's only about 3 or 4 companies selling hot yoga or cork yoga mats. None of them can be used both sides, at least they're not supposed to be used that way. And they all retail for $110, $120, $130.
I'll pay you double to see him do yoga. How do you clean?
For this cork, it's antibacterial.
You won't have to.
You don't really have to clean it, you just have to wipe it down. Yeah.
What's the manufacturing capability of the sample? How many can you make?
We can produce a lot of those. Our manufacturer produced Sanuk and Reef. We manufacture in China, some of the rubber comes from India. So, I mean, we're talking about 30,000 pairs a month, so we can definitely scale. We're looking for another manufacturer right now in Brazil, too.
Another question about the sandals. You said that the band is adjustable?
Yeah, so what's
Because
cool
I was
about,
scared
all right,
foot,
yeah.
so,
Unlike
and I saw
flip-flop.
somebody in the video pulling their. And
Yeah,
that was
so
crazy.
you can open it up for men with wider ankles, or you can tighten it down. And to get it to stay, all you do is pull this plug out and twist it, and that friction will hold it into place. So once you get it to the right position, you only have to do it once.
Typically, how long do they last?
A season or two, if they burn out within 3 months, we'll send you a free pair if you send us the bad one.
Sorry, can you go back, how much your son's sandals for again?
$30 for all the basic ones. These color block ones and prints, we have some prints coming out. Those will be a little more expensive.
May 1st is St. Leo's graduation, all students be wearing them.
No, but a bunch of students there have our sandals. Probably, some of them will, maybe not during the walk.
Are these supposed to be better than flip-flops physically for your foot? Because I know, I understand it flip back.
Yeah, we don't claim that there's any benefit. I mean, what we do say is that when you wear flip-flops, you have to kind of scrunch your toes. With ours, once you put them on, you don't, so you get like a barefoot free feeling. Once you put them on, they just kind of stay on.
You mentioned if they wear out in a few months that some of them, do you have a process in place to recycle them somehow?
We don't yet, but we're working on that. I mean, under ideal conditions, within 5 to 7 years, they will biodegrade. We've tested everything. I mean, it's not a 100% natural product, but everything else in there is eco-friendly. Yep.
Can you touch on some of the quantitative aspects of your business? So margins, gross sales, percentage growth month on month over the last 12 months, just so we can kind of get a picture of where you were and where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you some kind of ballpark numbers. Our first year was kind of a test. We came close to 100,000, didn't break it. We talked about store numbers, so we'll be about 60 by the end of the month. Our margins are pretty healthy, kind of typical for a premium retail brand, like a lifestyle brand. To give you some perspective, when we sell ourselves on our website, our margin is somewhere between around 200%. If we sell to wholesalers, we basically double our money. So pretty standard retail margins.
A few more questions. Are they vegan?
They are vegan, no animal products in our product.
And the other one, do they make that flip-flop sound when you walk?
They don't, because the back strap kind of secures it. Yeah.
Your material sources are global. Is your sales target U.S. only, or are you thinking about global? And are you thinking about strategic partnerships?
Yeah, I mean, we're in 8 countries now. The rubber primarily sourced from India. It's not cost effective to source it all from there because we manufacture in China. So the rest of the rubber comes throughout Asia, China, and Thailand. We would like to move some manufacturing to South America just to speed things up. But we're looking for distribution partners. So we have a distribution agreement in place with a distributor in Australia, and they're doing very well down there. And pretty advanced negotiations with the distributor in Japan and Canada, and talking to someone in Chile and Mexico.
How particularly marketing is, because I'm just like thinking how basically are people hearing about cruise? I'm thinking if I type in sandals or something like that, are you guys can come up, or I mean,
If you type in, I mean, we don't spend a lot of money in marketing because we're still kind of bootstrapping. If you take a look at our social media, I Love Brewers on Instagram or Facebook, you can see kind of who we're targeting. When we launched on Kickstarter, a bunch of yogis came to us and said, hey, we love your product, we want to help you out. So we kind of embraced that, and we've started kind of targeting the yoga market. If you search for Guru sandals on something like Amazon or natural rubber sandals, we should pop up. We're working with some people now to kind of own the search term for natural rubber sandals. So hopefully by sometime this summer, if you're searching for natural sandals or natural rubber sandals, our site should organically be in the top. Yeah.
So I assume at this point you're looking for some additional funding or financing to take it to that next level?
Yeah,
Talk
we
about
are.
what you're looking for.
It's not exactly cheap to build a brand, and I think if we build a brand, we'll be very successful in kind of branching out the products. We're looking to raise between 200 and 300,000. We have about 100,000 committed. This would kind of be our first outside round, but more of like a family and friends round because we're kind of small. But if anyone's interested in that, feel free to come up after and we can get in touch.
You looking for equity or for debt?
Equity.
Equity.
How are you acquiring their investors?
No, we go to trade shows. So you guys might have heard of Surf Expo, which is a big trade show in Orlando for surf, skate kind of resort. So we went to that and picked up the Australian distributor. So trade shows are expensive, but the thing is if you get one big deal, it pays for that and it pays for the next trade show. This guy right here, Sanjay Srinivasan, his company sells to theme parks, resorts, all across the world. Primarily lower end sunglasses and like glassware. So if you go to Harry Potter World and you buy one of those butterbeer mugs, chances are he made that. So he does that for Jimmy Buffett World, Six Flags. So he actually just got us into Six Flags. So we got 2 locations, one at Magic Mountain and one at their water park on the West Coast. He got us into Magic Springs theme park, also in Columbus Zoo. But hopefully he'll be opening up a lot more doors for us. Yeah.
You just brought up a question when you mentioned water. So if these are rubber and you're walking on wet ground, are they slippery?
As long as you have tread on the sandal, you'll be fine. Similar to any other rubber sandal like a Havaiana or a Reed.
I noticed on your website the sizing is small, medium, large. Can you explain how that works and why you did it that way?
Yeah, we did it that way because we wanted to have unisex sizing. It's pretty typical of other flip-flops you might have worn. On our website, there is a conversion to kind of men's and women's sizes. But basically, we go from a 5'6" in women's to a 12'13" in men's. We're coming out with 3 kid sizes probably next week to hit our website. But we're in the process of revamping our website to make the sizing a little simpler.
I apologize, I was late, so you tell me you covered it. You said you might open up some manufacturing in South America, what you said?
Yeah, we're talking to companies in Brazil. to manufacture.
So you might have manufacturing in multiple locations.
Yeah, we might, yeah.
And you're sourcing from India, and your margins are large. So is there no value to creating a brand that says made in America? Do you not have room for that in this at all?
So the thing about
You have to
manufacturing,
shrink those margins and actually create something that's made in America, at least for American distribution. You know, when you sell in China or you sell in Europe, maybe those are made somewhere else, but for what would be sold and made in America.
so when I started the company, I really wanted to have it made in India, and I spent probably 2 years in India with a factory, and just the quality was terrible. After that, we looked in the U.S., and the sole of our sandal, no one here would do that for us. We talked to probably 20, 25 companies, and they said, we'll do it for you, but you have to buy the machine, and you have to basically guarantee output. We could find a place to manufacture the strap and the post, but just to give you an idea of cost for those components, it would probably be 4 times the cost of making it in India or China.
But the straps, 4 times the cost, so instead of 6 cents, it would be 25 cents.
Yeah, basically.
All right, well, we're all hurting on this because you're gonna sell them for how much?
$30.
$30. You know, I'm just telling you, I mean, at some point, somebody has to come forward and say, right, we have a plan, and part of this is to build jobs, grow the entrepreneurial community. Maybe we do have to raise money and buy a machine that's ourselves, which leads to creating a factory, which leads to employment.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it doesn't make sense right now to do that, maybe in the future.
Maybe you could
But
attract investors who are interested in growing.
we could, I don't think ultimately our consumer is that concerned about it, especially when you think about the price. Our margins are pretty standard for a retail type of company, and we're kind of operating at break even. When we do get to about that. One guy who helped us out with our Kickstarter, he started a barefoot kind of nicer shoe line and he produced here in the US. And he basically taught the factory how to produce the shoes. After his first year, he had to move to China because the quality was so bad. So we would basically be teaching someone how to produce these. I mean, frankly, I probably couldn't even do that. But yeah, I mean, it's something we looked into, and for a small company doing small volumes, it doesn't make sense. When we get to, I don't know, 20,000 units a month, it might make sense. Definitely, yeah.
You mentioned that this is a lifestyle brand, this is the first Indian American lifestyle brand. What does that mean? How do you quantify
I guess when you think about Indian brands, they're primarily very higher-end designer brands that are in India and haven't really reached the U.S. market. We think there's a lot of interest here for, I guess, the Indian culture, and we would like to be kind of the first to market that's not necessarily just a yoga mat or a yoga company to bring kind of India and our culture to the U.S.
What's the biggest struggle you have right now?
I guess sales. I mean, but when you're a small company with 2 people, it seems like everything is a struggle. Our manufacturing is in China, and it would be great to move it to the U.S. because when you're done working here, you have to Skype every night with your guys in China. So there really is, I mean, no time to do anything. We do all of our social media, we do the online marketing, we do the trade shows. It's 2 of us basically doing everything. We have independent sales reps now, which is great because they have probably 600 to 1,000 stores they call on. But all these guys are working on commission and they have other lines. So it's hard to keep them as dedicated as us. So I think it's just a resource problem right now.
How long have you actually been producing there? How long have you had a viable product?
We've had these on the market for about 1.5 years. I got the idea about 4 years ago. So to find a good place to manufacture it cost effectively, that was a big struggle. But now that we have a product and we have a manufacturer that produces good quality pretty fast, I mean, that's less of a headache.
So what are you looking for in terms of funding? What would you use it for? And it seems like you've got a product that would appeal to the lifestyle of the college type students that are in your video. Are you trying to mobilize some of them, whether through internship programs or volunteers, or just, lower paid group of people to go out and help build that brand? I mean, what's the next stage? What are you looking for?
Yeah, so the money is mainly for kind of building the brand and marketing, and also for new product development. I think our sandal, and initially when we launched, we thought it was going to be mainly for younger kids, the surf and the beach crowd. I mean, our customer is probably 70% women, but that goes all the way down from like a 12-year-old girl all the way up to, I mean, even we have 80-year-old women wearing our sandals. Our sweet spot is probably between like 25 to 40, and we don't have like a college ambassador program yet, but that's kind of why we made these, to make that happen, to accelerate that process. So these will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. But also we have these yogi ambassadors who, they're kind of like sales reps for us, so we sign them up because they like our product and they have a following online. We give them a coupon code, so if they refer people to our website and they buy, they get commission based on that.
Seems to me all you need to do is go to the national offices for fraternities and sororities, and you could probably just make a business off of that.
Potentially. I mean, one of the problems, when you ask about problems, one of the problems we have is when people see this, they don't believe that it'll stay on. But it stays on better than any sort of flip-flop. So that's why I kind of wanted you to see the video. That's why we tried to move into video, and that's why we're trying to get more people talking about our product.
So you had mentioned that all the rubber comes from family-owned farms back in India. Is this a revenue contributor to the farms? Is it getting it as a real deal? How does this affect family farms? Is it positive?
Yeah, it's a positive effect. I mean, not all of our rubber comes from there because it wouldn't be cost effective to ship from India to China or India to Brazil. Rubber is a commodity, so there's a commodity price. So we basically pay our family farm whatever anyone else would be paying.
I assume you're selling them on your website, right?
Yeah.
With every pair that you sell, why don't you include in there a little referral fee to everybody that buys a pair? And if they love it, let them hand that out to their friends, because that's how the sales are gonna happen, by testimonial, basically. Let them make $1.50 a pair, so they can get their friends to buy it and put in their little code.
Yeah, we're working on something like that with a third-party company who basically helps, I guess, generate leads among customers. So you can set it up so that if, say we send you a pair of sandals, you get a code, and if you refer, I don't know, 5 or 10 friends, you get a free pair or something like that. So we're working on that.
Cash works really, really well.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, we can do that too. Yeah.
4-part question. So, you said you plant a tree for every new pair is sold. Where do you plant them? Who plants them? What type of seeds do you use? And what can you produce?
Yeah, so we work with a nonprofit called Trees for the Future. They plant, tens of thousands of trees a year. So whenever we sell a pair, we tally it up and we give them a quarterly check. And they plant in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. We've asked most of our trees to be planted in India to kind of work with the story, but it can be anything. It can be mango, it can be coffee, it could be something like a moringa. But these are trees, they work with local communities and educate them and teach them about the trees, teach them about planting, so that it'll kind of benefit the community. We don't want to just plant a tree and have it be cut down or used for fuel within the first couple of years.
Are they crop trees or are they decorative trees?
Usually crops, but it depends.
Rubber trees in India?
I don't think they're planting rubber trees. A lot of times it's either for things like to prevent erosion or to keep the moisture to act as a windbreak. But they also do crops like coffee, mangoes, or jackfruit that will actually bring income to that community.
Thanks. That's great.
I think it's cool, by the way. I don't like flip-flops necessarily because they do come off a lot. I love yoga, so I think it's really cool. Maybe you can up your target range of age because I'm well over 40. And I'm also thinking, I'm from Pittsburgh actually, and I have a friend up there who makes these beautiful saris. She imports the fabric from India. So I'm wondering if there's kind of vendors in the U.S. that maybe would be a good kind of partner for you to help promote your stuff, and then vice versa, you can help them.
Yeah, we're, speaking of not wearing flip-flops, a lot of people say that about flip-flops, but once they put ours on, they like them.
Right.
But we're always looking to kind of cross-promote with similar brands, or not necessarily similar brands, but brands who have a similar target market to us.
Yeah.
So if someone's selling something, an upcycled sari, like that type of customer might fit well with us. So with brands like that, there's a fit. We will do like a giveaway on Instagram or some kind of promotion on Facebook, and that's worked out really well.
Yeah, to the extent you can differentiate yourself from a flip-flop, that's not a bad thing.
Exactly, yeah.
One of the concerns I have is the fact that I guess my feet get very wet with the humidity or whatever, and they slip. Do you find that you have that yourself?
We haven't had any complaints about that. But it is like, this is like kind of like walking on like one of the natural rubber yoga mats.
Right.
So if this was like drenched, you would probably slip a little bit on the top of it.
Can we try that?
Oh yeah, I've got, if you guys want to come up and try them, I've got every size you can right now.
Can you talk to us about the equity investment?
Yeah, we're looking to raise $200,000 to $300,000. We're targeting about $1 million valuation. I think we have kind of a proven proof of concept now. We believe that that really all we need to do is get this out there to a right enough number of people, and we think a certain percentage will convert. And I think when you look at other companies in the space, I think these are two very relevant comps. Feel Goods, has anyone heard of them? It's a natural rubber flip-flop. It's a traditional flip-flop, but very similar manufacturing process to us. So they did about $2 million in debt for Angels. They launched in 2011. I think this year they're on track to get over $5 million in revenue. But they got into Whole Foods, and that's basically 80% of their business. We don't want to have one customer be 80% of our business, and we think our product is a lot more versatile than theirs. There's another company called Buck and Feed that we know very well, founded in 2011. I think since I made this slide, they've raised, probably in total, maybe it was something like 12, 13 million. And they're probably on track to hit 15, 20 million in revenue this year. But they do an artist-inspired shoe, kind of like a band, so every shoe has a print, and it's tied to an artist. You agree with the Profits Toms, we're a billion-dollar company, but they built a brand around one style of shoe, and that's the only thing that we're selling for 3 to 5 years. Now they sell sunglasses and coffee. So we kind of want to own this design, kind of maximize the return on this. We're thinking about doing a leather version.
What can you do to protect the design?
You can't do much, it's fashion. Someone's got my wooden one out there. But there's 5,000 years of prior art there. We could do a design patent, but right now I'd rather spend money on marketing or going to a trade show and getting sales than a design patent where all you have to do is tweak the texture.
How would you use the $200,000 to $300,000?
Primarily for marketing. So we haven't done much online, and I think that's the most cost-effective way of acquiring new customers and getting the brand out there. And we have pretty high conversion rates when we do something like a Google remarketing campaign or a Facebook ad. So the bulk of that would be for online advertising. I think we want to do a lot more trade shows. We've done maybe 5 trade shows so far. And we've seen pretty good return on there. But to get big name stores like Whole Foods or Nordstrom's or Urban Outfitters, you have to go to trade shows, and these guys have to see you a few seasons before they're actually going to give you a shot.
And what are you offering up in terms of equity for the deal?
20 to 30% of the company.
You had mentioned that or I don't know if you mentioned, but you've done one Kickstarter and you're looking to do another Kickstarter.
Yeah.
For anybody else in the group that might be considering Kickstarter, what did you learn that you're going to do differently the second time?
I think the first time we knew Kickstarter was a little smaller a year and a half ago. We kind of knew that if we put our names on there in a project, we better deliver. So we were basically ready to ship our inventory over before we launched the Kickstarter. I think that's the key point. We've talked to a lot of people who kind of put their product out there and they weren't able to deliver. That'll really hurt your company, and that'll hurt you as far as raising money down the line. So we try to overpromise or underpromise, overperform. But I think you have to figure out. What's really important is the landed cost to your consumer. So we spent a lot of time with our product. No one's imported anything like that, so we went to customs. We wanted to find out how much the import duty would be. We worked with the logistics provider to find out how much is it going to cost to get from China into our warehouse. We signed up a fulfillment center, so when they came in, these would just go out automatically, and we know how much it costs. So Kickstarter was profitable for us. We've talked with a lot of companies who lose money on Kickstarters because they don't think about shipping costs. They don't think about doing any sort of quality control on their product. They have 100 backers and they order 100 sandals, and 50 of them end up being bad and you can't send them out. So you really have to kind of prepare for the worst case scenario because everything on Kickstarter is very public. If we failed in our first Kickstarter, there's no way anyone would give us money to produce a new type of video equipment.
And to add on to that, the final question is, what can the community do for you?
Introductions to investors. Happy to sit down and talk to them, run through our numbers and our sales. If you know any famous people or any people in the press who would like to give us some coverage, that really helps. Our Tampa Bay Times article kind of blew up our website, and you never think local news will actually do anything, but it does. And if you just talk to your friends about us, if you like our product, try us out, and tell people about our story. Tell people you met a cool Indian guy in St. Pete that has some cool sandals.
Thank you very much. And you guys are, of course, all welcome to come and try on this. I'm just kidding. I don't try them on the check.
You guys do stuff, you're free to try them on.
Free to try them on. All right, there you go. So we have a little bit of time left over. I do want to get an update from our friends at the Iron Yard. They have their classes winding down this semester. Tony, if you mind coming up here and telling us a little bit about your lessons.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
If you haven't heard of us, we are the Iron Yard. We're located in downtown St. Pete. We're an immersive code school that teaches software engineering to adults, usually changing careers or adding tools to their toolkit, or maybe you're a startup and you're trying to build an application or a website. We teach front-end engineering and Ruby on Rails, and our next classes start on May 4th. We have an awesome scholarship opportunity with the St. Pete Chamber for our Ruby on Rails course, and then also Mad Mobile is sponsoring for our front-end engineering. It's $3,000 towards the tuition. It's a super simple way to apply. It's just a 250-word essay. You go on our website, and you actually put in what you would build. What app would you build if you could? We have a lot of submissions. The submissions that seem to get more traction are actually apps, working apps. Some people say, I want to build an app that will help children in health, and it's just more generic, an actual app. So we have one of our students that are graduating on April 17th. It's on the event schedule right there. All are welcome. It's on our meetup page. After the 3 months of them working very, very hard, they actually are building their own app for 3 weeks. It's pretty impressive what they do. So then they present it to the community, and we'll of course have some beer and wine and some fun stuff also. But Tony is here. He can come on up. And he was actually selected for the $3,000 scholarship from the St. Pete Chamber. And to tell you a little bit about
From the Iron Yard, but unlike the program director, I'm a student. I'm a former intelligence analyst at Special Operations Command at McDill. I was tired of working inside the building, inside another building underground with no windows. So I like the startup scene, I like the tech community, so found out about the Iron Yard, I heard about the St. Pete Chamber Scholarship, and the question was asked, what would you build? So I said St. Pete has no presence for a job board. Everything is monster.com, Indeed. There's no global presence, so I said I would build a global job board for the community, and I was selected. So if you guys want to see it, April 17th, I'll be demoing it.
So Tony is one of our best students, but also he was active military, so he also applied for our diversity scholarship, which is for women, people of color, and then also for veterans. So we want to do anything that we can to give back to the community, and thanks to the St. Pete Chamber for also sponsoring the scholarship for us. We just want to be able to provide our education for people that may not be able to afford it or are just afraid to take that leap, because it is a full-time program, and oftentimes that can be tough for them, especially when they have families and children at home, which most of our students do. So, sure.
How successful are you placing your students afterwards?
Great, 100%. Anyone that's graduated within 6 months, the average is about 1 to 3 months. But that's also what one of my roles is, and what we look to the community for is if you're looking to hire developers, please come talk to us, come see, please come to Demo Day.
And I'm also looking for a job.
How many graduates do you have so far?
Well, our first class is 12. We we have 14, and this class is going to be 15. Our classes are never more than 15 students, so ideally with 2 classes we have 30 students, but we're also looking for applicants. A lot in the St. Pete area has been just educational awareness of what the Iron Yard is, but also what a coding school does.
Is tuition 3,000 and that's the top cover, or is the tuition more?
Tuition is $12,000. Yeah.
When you say that you place within 6 months, what is the average starting salary?
So that's a tough question. We get that a lot, obviously, but depends on the market. We're located in multiple cities, but for St. Pete to Tampa, we say average is about $50,000 to $60,000. We've had students placed at positions making $40,000, and we've had them placed making $80,000. So it also just depends on sometimes their experience beforehand or just the need. Ruby developers, that skill is a little bit harder to find, so the salary tends to be a little bit higher. But front-end developers, there's a lot more opportunity because as far as there's just more jobs out there. A construction company may not be running a software, but they are hiring for a website designer. But you know, it is entry. You come out as a junior developer, but once you have those skills for 2 to 5 years, then they tend to be making anywhere over from $90,000 to $120,000. Yeah, thank you.
We've got some information back there on the Iron Yard. Tony's going to stick around here if you guys have any questions. Want to come up? Do have a couple events coming up. The Innovation Overnight. You heard our friends from USF St. Pete talk about that. That's coming up on the 10th. That'll be an interesting event to check out what the USF students are doing with that. Lex, Brian, are you guys attending that?
Try to.
Yeah, maybe.
Absolutely. So if you have any questions or would like to meet dynamic young people like Lex and Brian, great event. We heard about Iron Yard Demo Day, Gulf Coast MakerCon. We've had a lot of makers come up here and present. Many of them will be presenting at that. They'll have booths. You can see kind of some of the cool physical things being built. The Big Pitch is a Bright House sponsored Shark Tank-esque thing coming up, and then Drink and Connect. I don't know anything about that event. Marianne, do you know anything about that event?
I know a little bit about it. It's a great event for entrepreneurs to meet technical resources. That's the only people in attendance. I've been hosting this quarterly, getting anywhere from 150 up to 350 people. This one will be at the patio in Tampa, and I have about 15 different raffle items that are going to be handed out throughout the evening that will all benefit Tampa Police's Honor Guard. So I hope to see you all there. For anyone who registers, it's on Meetup, Eventbrite, Facebook. Your first drink is on me, so I hope to see you all there.
I certainly like that. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. Again, if you'd like to talk about your experience here at 1 Million Cups in the audience, we would love to have you guys on video so we can share that and bring more people in. Please see Lex and Brian. We'll video you out there in front of our lovely banner sign. And then next week, bring a friend with you. We got a couple of open seats today. I'm surprised. I know a lot of folks are up in Jacksonville, but bring a friend next week. Please. Thank you. You're welcome.